All right. Hope everybody is having a good weekend. Unfortunately, some relatives came in from out of town. Not my relatives, but Jamila's relatives came in, totally shut down our weekly wind down. So I'm having a virtual wind down with whoever is on my page and likes to hear me rant. So here we go. In my favorite wind down spot, I basically come to my roof every night. Not every single night, but quite a lot of nights. And I just like to look at the city, especially wait until shit closes down and there's nobody and you can just hear the lights. Just see the lights because it's nice. Anyway, okay. So you might be wondering, what the hell is she ranting about tonight? So tonight, I wanted to talk about a day in the life, I guess, of an aspiring, I'm not gonna call myself an aspiring researcher. I'm a real researcher. Mostly I follow open-endedness, which is a field that stems from biology, neuroevolution. So looking at the ways that humans have evolved and trying to create neural networks that evolve in the same way. The biggest researchers that I follow are from OpenAI, like Ken Stanley and Jeff Clune. Clune right now is working on multi-agent learning, which is kind of important because if you don't know about reinforcement learning, that's a topic for another day. But if you have an agent that knows something, what if the other agents around it could learn from that and basically evolve? So there's some sort of transfer process of the transfer of one skill from one agent to another based on the environment. And also they've been working on increasingly complex environments, which is a super cool sub area. Anyway, so it was was it a day or maybe 3 days ago, someone posted about some free credits. And if y'all don't know, I'm the queen of snagging scholarships and credits and basically free shit. So it was ooh, more cloud credits. And that's when I learned about the MindRL Neural IPS competition that's happening. I guess this competition has been happening for a while. And it just so happens that same guy, Joseph blah blah from MIT, he posted about this competition too. So it looks like the same group of people, they're participating in the NeurIPS. It's a Minecraft competition, and there's 2 different competitions happening, but one of them is about using reinforcement learning to basically solve it's the diamond digging for diamonds in Minecraft. So I was that's really cool. There's an opportunity to get some free credits. Let me read up on this competition, figure out what it is, and see if I can get started. So I go look at the docs, look at the different environments that are eligible for the competition, and I try to understand it. And I was okay, this is cool, but it just so happens that the environment, so MindRL is a package that some Carnegie Mellon students created that is a gym environment. So OpenAI created all these gyms so that you don't have to create an environment for your reinforcement learning agents, because the agents there has to be some sort of task, right, that your RL agents want to solve, and in order to accomplish that task they need an environment for the task. So MindRL is the Minecraft environment, because it's not a part of the baseline packages in OpenAI Gym. Anyway, so it's okay, this is great. I read about the project, I read about the environments, and I even kind of thought about, there's one algorithm that I'm super familiar with, Poet, and I was okay, this is so cool. I want to use this algorithm to solve the task, right? So it's all great. I started looking at it yesterday, and I tried playing around with it to no avail. Didn't go anywhere. I couldn't even get the package running. And I would say it's kind of important to think about environments here, because I was trying to get it up and running in Colab. At this point, the first day that I tried to get it up and running, I literally was just trying to solve this myself using Colab, and I didn't really understand that that the MindRL environment was not a part of the standard package for the environments that come with OpenAI Gym. So you can't just import the gym. You actually have to import the entire MindRL library on its own, but then it can't run on its own in collab, like you actually need a whole other like virtual machine that has a display, or you have to be like connected to a sort of to a display. And so basically I spent a couple hours just like fumbling through that on the first day. I think that was like yesterday. And then so today I'm like, okay, no, I'm really gonna get this running. And I joined the Discord channel. This is like 2 days into trying to hack this together, and still didn't get it like up and running. It was like a fucking failure. So I joined the Discord channel, and like this is the same Discord from like last year, where people were when they were trying to solve the same problem, they posted there and they posted their solutions and their thought process, a lot of like, you know, documentation. And so I just searched collab in the Discord channel, and someone posted like a tutorial from last year where they show you how to get like up and running in collab. Now this is like so useful. It was so useful, but it was still like hard as fuck. Like, so they're like, when I actually like opened their notebook, so they had like a Jupyter notebook that they posted, and I connected to, you know, the GPU on collab, restarted my runtime, and for some reason like collab is like extra fucking slow. So things that I paid for like the premium version of collab, but I still feel like I don't have enough compute, which is why if I applied for that grant, and because I'm trying to like save my AWS credits, but this actually might be a ideal use case to use those credits. I don't know if some people like actually saw my post from a few weeks ago where I was talking about how I had all those fucking credits but I just didn't use them. Well, I think I'm gonna use them now. Anyway, so I have this notebook that the other guy like created, and I'm like running it, and the first error that was just fucking awful. Like, so you have to actually create like it's not called like a virtual pin, but it's like you have to use like a couple packages. I'm kind of like familiar with them, but kind of not. Anyway, so I basically had to create like, I had to use this like auth token from this other package and like put it in the environment, and then open up like a virtual machine like on my computer, like download it, open up the virtual machine, log into the virtual machine that connects to my collab notebook, and that is basically used as like the display, so you can see your agent like training the RL algorithm. Like in baselines, if you just have like environment like render and you can like see it, but because mine RL is like Minecraft and I guess it's like way more complicated, you can't do that. Anyway, so you need a whole monitor and like a virtual machine and like I think, what was this one called? It was called like Tipper VNC or something. It's like a virtual machine that does like 3D rendering. Yeah, so I have to like read about that package and like get up and running with that package, like log in. So initially my credentials weren't working, even though like I literally used like the exact same process that the guy uses, right, in the tutorial, because it's like a 6-minute like video walkthrough that he did. My shit was not working for like hours, like 3 hours then. So I like restart the entire notebook, create new credentials, and finally like get like logged into the virtual machine, which was like amazing. But for some reason then it was like the Java SDK wasn't working, and you need like Java version 8 to work with like the MineRL package because they haven't updated it to Java version 9. And it was just like a whole bunch of shit like that wasn't fucking working. And then so I'm finally like logged into the virtual machine. I couldn't call any of the environments from MineRL, so like finally I get the display working, but then the actual like package isn't working. I debugged that for like 3 hours, another 3 hours like doing that, and then when I finally like think I have the bug solved, all of a sudden the whole like virtual environment just like times out. It was the virtual environment is called like render co or something. It's like a package that some students made in order so that you can actually use this like 3D modeling like visualizer to connect to your collab environment. And I think this package was just made like 3 months ago, probably just for this competition. And maybe it was because I kept hitting their server like so much, the shit just like timed out. So I get totally like kicked out of the of the like virtual environment after I've been like trying to figure this out for 3 fucking hours. And so then I tried to like log back in, and I kept getting this like same error that was basically like, what is it, like render collab is not working or something. We can't read this package. I like go to the GitHub site. So there's like a whole rabbit hole I'd have to go down. They are just like solved to figure out what's going on with that package and like why it's not working, and maybe figure out who the developers are. They're probably in that Discord channel. So chat with those developers and see like, did it go down? Did I break it? Like what the hell happened? Maybe they're trying to like maintain that and work on the package at the same time. But either way, I feel like this was like 6 hours that just went down the fucking drain, because like I'm literally gonna have to use AWS anyway on my credits and power up a virtual machine there. And I saw some examples, there were some repos that are already available that have like Docker containers where I can just like run the Docker containers. It's just credentials are just like a bitch. Like I always, even if I use somebody's Docker container, there's always like a ton of credential stuff where I get locked out anyway, so it won't work. Which, I mean, there's not, even their Docker container is not that fucking complex, right? There's like not that many credentials to log in, but I just kind of feel like it would be much easier for me to just create my own little server. Even though like GPU servers that use like deep learning stuff in AWS, to me, when I looked at the price, they seem kind of expensive, and I just don't want to like get it running and then use all the credits, you know, and then I don't know, for this one fucking project, it seems like $25,000 worth of like AWS credits is a lot, but I feel like, knowing me, I'll burn through them in like one project, and I'll be pissed because I won't have any more. I mean, I guess it's not that hard. If I join another hackathon or something, they'll probably give me more, but yeah, I don't know. I just kind of wanted to like talk through that, like some of the problems really that I faced, because I thought a lot about. And so next week I'm giving a talk with some students at Columbia who are STEM majors, and even the host, she's like a computer science student. And I thought about it like, yo, I wish there would have been, you know, someone who's a little bit further along than like they are, to actually like talk about what it's really like in industry, or specifically in like research. Because like there was just fucking nobody when I was doing it. Like, who's actually talking about what it's really like to debug, what it's really like working with these open source packages, how to go from like reading a research paper to like actually implementing it, right? And this was cool. So today there was a Zoom call by this guy from Twitter, Zachary Lipton, and he's like he's not just from Twitter, like he's in real life too. Like he's like a professor at Carnegie Mellon, a computer science professor. And he was like, he's been chatting a lot about selecting PhD programs on Twitter, and there's a lot of threads, and a lot of people had questions about like how to do it, how to select a program, like things like that, right? So I'm thinking like, I had these exact same questions, right? Like I honestly figured it might be easier for me to go to like basically Europe and get a PhD, because they're like dying for machine learning researchers out there. But ultimately, I mean, my goal is to join Microsoft Research in Africa. I just think there's a real need for like researchers on the continent. I'm Black, obviously. I want to teach and be around other Black people, and I think it would be just dope as fuck to like go do research in Africa, honestly. So I think that's the goal that I have wrote down. That's the goal that I'm working toward. I'm gonna keep, you know, just staying on that path until I get there. But on the Zoom call today, Zach was basically talking about how there's like the top 10 computer science universities, and these are different from the top 10, you know, like US universities in general. So the top 10 computer science universities, I think it's like, I don't know what number one might be Carnegie Mellon for computer science. It's like Carnegie Mellon, Stanford, MIT, Berkeley. I can't remember the other ones on the list, but yeah. And he was saying that whatever those like the top 10 that list are, they haven't changed for, you know, quite a while. And there are some people, when they're applying to PhD programs, who will only apply to programs on that list, and it's just like those programs don't admit that many students. So if you only apply to those programs, you're competing with like the top talent in the world, and there's like a really good chance that you're not going to get in. But you can apply to other programs, because just because it's not like a top 10 program, that doesn't mean like your advisor won't deeply care about you or that you won't learn a lot. And that's like really, really important. So like when I was thinking about that, so another thing that's kind of interesting about me, like of all the companies that I worked with and teams that I worked for, I just always talk to researchers, because I've known for a while like I wanted to do that, specifically in computer science. So I like to hear their stories, understand how they selected advisors and things like that. And for me, like I told you guys in the beginning of this video that I follow those researchers who talk about like open-endedness. And so for me, I'm thinking like, all right, like whoever's working on like open-endedness, I just want to like go follow them. But a lot of them have like come out of academia and gone into industry, so they're like at OpenAI. So joining OpenAI is like one thing to do, right? But that's still, it's industry, so it's not like research based, but they are partnered with Microsoft, so they have like $1 billion worth of compute or some crazy shit like that. But there's also like one of the researchers there, he posted that he's like going to he's going to teach in Canada or something, like he's joining a university in Canada, but he didn't actually say if he's opening a research group, because he probably could honestly just become like a lecturer. But even then, I would assume he would be teaching classes that had to do with like meta learning and open-endedness, just because like that's his forte anyway. So it might be worth it just for that, to like when selecting university is like picking it like that, right? Because it's like I understand like here's where these researchers are. They are talking about what I'm interested in. I want to learn that. Let me just go there and sit in on their, like join their lectures, because I would just assume they're going to teach like grad level courses anyway. I thought too about like NYU. I loved my time in New York. I've done like a couple posts about it, but I was like living at NYU in the dorms. So obviously I got like a little taste of the student life, right? And you know, obviously checked out Tish, because yeah, I know I'm doing some. And yeah, I mean, I don't know, to me that was really fucking cool. And so I was like, yo, you know, like NYU might be a really good idea for me. When I was at the Times, I really connected with Wiggins, who's like the chief data scientist there, who's also a lecturer at Columbia. So Columbia was on my list just specifically to get to work with Wiggins. Like to me, he's like he's like one of the coolest researchers I've ever met. Though Clune is like very cool too, and Stanley is very cool too. But Stanley is no longer at a university, and Clune is moving to Canada. So I don't know. Like the other thing about NYU has Jan LeCun, who's like the founder. He works with like Facebook AI, and some of y'all know how I feel about Facebook. But anyway, it would be really dope to like be able to like, you know, take his classes, though he posts a lot of his classes online anyway, so I don't know if you have to actually be there. But from one thing that we talked about on the Zoom, like Zach kept mentioning he mentioned like a whole handful of researchers that were at NYU, basically saying like these are really good people, these are really smart people, like a lot more people should be applying to this university just to work with them. He mentioned like UCSD having like really awesome professors there, and I just thought like, wow, those do seem like really great environments. So yeah, I don't know, I'm gonna check them out. I think also I wanted to mention, I mean, I don't know, there's like 3 current PhD students on my profile right now, so if you are watching this, I know that like Msr Research Internships are open right now. Highly recommend you apply for those. The Allen Institute has research internships, but those are like actually year long, like they're open year round. So I mean, you could apply for those at any time. And there was one other, DeepMind obviously like posted that they have internships too, and I think that just being able to like work with any of those groups, working with those researchers, like super invaluable experiences to understand like some of the just dope ass research like coming out of them. And I think something also that's just really interesting to me, it's like the further along that I get in like my career and really this like niche area of research that is also kind of like industry specific, right? I've just been reading more about like how hard it's going to be to actually get into MSR, which is Microsoft Research. Also, like, I'm so mad. I don't know if you can see this, but maybe I'll show you guys. So from where I am standing, like right now, this is currently where I live. That building right there. Can you see it? That is the Microsoft Research building. It is fucking right across the street from my house. I love Italy. But I really love Italy. I can't even lie. Kelly Stamps, the little YouTuber, got me on it. But anyway, but I also love Crepe Bun, so I go to Crepe Bun a lot. And it's like right across the street. So Microsoft has a group called Bonsai that works specifically on like reinforcement learning, and they are literally right there. Like, I've read everything about them. Like, I know this product like inside and out, and it's just like, it feels like it's in reach. Like, I can do it. They're like right there. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll, make a blog post or something about some of the other like cool grad school tips. Because I guess like, who's gonna be the Andrew Karpathy of our generation? Maybe not generation, because I guess I'm like an old grandma in here, but still, of our demographic, maybe that's a better way to say it, of like the Black researchers, the Latino researchers who are actually writing to the students who are coming behind us of like how we do this shit. Because it ain't easy out here. And he had his blog up for a minute. Like, while he was at Stanford, he was like writing away like, here's how you do shit, here's how you make things, follow me. And everyone followed him. And I think that's how he gained like a lot of respect in the field and as like a leader, right, in his field. So that's actually going to be also the premise of my talk this week for those Columbia students. I just really want them to understand how to gain a digital presence. So that was like kind of like the topic for the talk this week. Yeah, and I think I'm gonna actually use those examples. Use Twitter, use YouTube, whatever other platforms are like available. Yeah, I gotta see this view, man. It's just like serene. This is why I come up here every fucking night. See that? You can't even, that's not even a good, that one. Oh, hi, Research University. You are so beautiful. You are a wealth of information, of which I want it all. Give me all your knowledge. That's all I got, guys. Bye. Cheers.